Flomashkaram and Flomastay, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makara, Sumed, Zoom, Dr. Scripps. Let's get started. Today we're talking all about the 10 life skills that every priest beast needs. Every modern day man who wants to be a tantric, charismatic god in this day and age has got to understand a few of these things. Number one, you got to communicate effectively and efficiently. Okay? Our communication is so key. And remember, 90% or something like that is nonverbal. Okay, so it's body language. So how are you communicating using your body? Okay, when you're texting somebody, not making it boring and bland. So this isn't just in the realm of health, but also in the realm of wealth, creation, relationships, and so forth. And I think a lot of people's communication gets very mundane, bland, lacking emotional depth. And that brings me to the second point. I think emotional intelligence is one of the most important things that you want to learn as a modern day shaman, modern day sage, because you cannot let your emotions get the best of you. You got to know clearly what you're feeling. You can't be unsure or vague about that. Oh yeah, I'm kind of angry or frustrated right now. Why kind of? What does that mean? What is the flavor of your communication, right? Really getting to that point. You know, how did I change my level of testosterone and become more, in my own sovereignty and masculine polarity? Number one, I started doing the practices that I hate doing. Going to the gym, eating clean, getting rid of junk food, basically lifting heavy, progressive overload, right? But also things like infrared light on my balls, okay? And cold pack and so forth. Like all of these things, they helped, and we learned all of this from the deities of our path working, okay? We work with specific energies, frequencies, and deities, and we work kind of like mystic scientists at Primal Sutra. So we were able to look at what is the most testosterone boosting understanding, what are the top herbs to take, from tribulus to sustange to tonkat, like what are the things to take in order for me to amplify this. Also shilajit has been an immense help, and people in the adepts also get access to the understanding of that and using that, okay? So emotional intelligence would be like the ability to control, express, and handle relationships, judiciously. I know exactly what the emotion is. I can express myself clearly. I can calm myself down. I can give myself more rage and use it as fuel. So it really comes down to a mindset, right? And the mindset is, this too shall pass. I will persevere. I'm gonna get there eventually, okay? That mentality of perseverance is very powerful. Okay, as we in our minds sometimes we think I can't do that, or that's no way, that's not possible. But then what do? We prove it to ourselves that we can, and that breaks that old paradigm immediately. I've noticed by going to the gym, I'm breaking that paradigm. Like, wait, I can't lift that, dude, my arms are aching. But wait a little bit, 30 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes, and then all the blood isn't flowing to that area anymore, and it's a little bit more calm, and then I can finally do some of those reps. So the reason I bring up EQ and emotional intelligence is because it's very important to have as a leader. As a leader, you want to be level-headed. You don't want to fly off the handle, and go out and put your entire brand, company, everything else in jeopardy, right? You want to, of course, you want to be a meaningful savant, okay? You want to be the sovereign sage of your own practice. So we believe in this concept of sacred hedonism, okay? The fact that if you are going out and partying and having a good time, you can still involve that and make it a ritualistic practice, something that, really engages, and you celebrate, and you praise the deities too, As you drink, you imagine that you're praising a specific deity, or as you are, doing something that might be debauchery, you're still gaining that understanding that this is still cosmic, this is still metaphysical, this is still universal. So chipping away at the noise and the nonsense that's out there and making sense of it, okay? Making sense of things. That's a very powerful energy to have. The next word is kind of like discipline, but again, I don't really like that word discipline. I know that discipline originally comes from the word disciple of Christ and so forth. However, discipline in our modern culture has always meant punishment, you know? God has always been looked at as somebody we fear or is going to judge us or punish us in some way, rather than be a guide, be a support, be somebody who is a fatherhood energy, right? Our heavenly Father that looks after us. So instead of that kind of mentality, what we've done is we don't have any real role models as men, right? Growing up as a millennial, I was like looking around, and everywhere I saw different examples of men that I would respect, admire, or emulate certain qualities about them. Overall, I don't think I ever had anybody where I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to be exactly like them, right? Don't think that was the case, you know, growing up. It was only later on in my years, in my 20s or so, where I started to find mentors and people that I genuinely respected, and I'd be like, yeah, I could definitely be like that, or have a life like that, and so forth, okay? Of course, I saw many different things that would inspire me, including my parents and, you know, different parts of the world that I've been to and so forth. So all of that was inspirational, of course. But at the same time, I recognize that a lot of men struggle with this, man. You know, we look at like animes and shit to connect with characters. We don't really look at human beings and so forth. We look at like dinosaurs and things as little kids, as little boys, right? We grow up wanting to be superheroes, but then we forget about that later on in life. We get sidetracked, you know, something else comes up, we get into a long toxic ass relationship or something, and then it takes us away from that mission of purely like, you know, being at the cause of your own life, you know, not being constantly at the effect of life, right? The next thing you gotta know as a modern day man is you got to know how to dress up, man. You gotta know how to dress up. You gotta be fly. You gotta be stylish. You know, you gotta find your own style. Obviously, this I've harnessed and found more so of my own style, which is more so a creative style, I would say. It's almost the creative savant genius, guru, sage mode, priest beast style, I guess you could call it, like a kind of a, it's unique to my avatar choice and what I'm going for and how I'm presenting myself. And look, liking the rules of the game isn't as important as using the rules of the game to win at your advantage, and clothing can definitely be one of those things where it makes you stand out, it makes you differentiate yourself from other people, and therefore they will notice you, they'll give you attention, you'll be able to present yourself as the kind of person that you truly prefer, rather than an autopilot version of you where people just gonna, oh yeah, whatever, dude. Like a lot of people that I see walking around, they're just, you know, plain bland clothing, nothing really that special or unique or eye-catching or, you know, popping out to me. Now women can do this incredibly, right? Women understand that wearing jewelry is sexual, and, you know, having this kind of aesthetic is powerful because, you know, it's all about the vibe that is being generated, the essence of the whole entire, you know, character of this woman who is a goddess, you know, looking in the mirror, you know, doing her makeup in this ritualistic way, like putting on war paint almost, right? Like going out into the world and then crushing it, you know? Us guys, we don't really have that. We're kind of like, yeah, we have it with a suit, right? We put on a suit and tie and so forth. But why don't you use that suit and tie almost like armor, like you're putting on armor, or you're putting on like a cloak, like a vampire or something, you know what I mean? Like, why don't you have something cool like that, bro, in your style? Like, why do you have to go with whatever the mainstream is feeding you? Like, oh yeah, let's look up the GQ catalog from this year. Fuck that, man. Go to a thrift store and buy some dope ass shit and rock it like your life depended on it. This is what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people, they don't trust in their own stylistic sense, and they don't really have a fascination with different art or different art forms or different cultures or different music and all of this stuff. But that refines your character. That makes you a unique and very attractive individual, right? When you can have multivarious tastes, right? A refined taste of life. That's what luxury is, right? A refined taste of life. It's not like, you know, the caviar. It's like the specific type of caviar that's from that one specific place, right? And it's like, it gets very, very, very exclusive, right? So you have to behave like you are exclusive, like you deserve that, in a sense, okay? That's how you're gonna tap into that frequency. Next thing I've noticed, man, is just like etiquette with people who might seem maybe lower in the socioeconomic status or things like this. Like, you know, here in India we have maids and butlers and chauffeurs and, you know, people who, you know, look after certain things, and maybe our employees, right? And just people who, you know, are working for us. Yeah, just like, I don't really like the word subordinate, because again, I don't consider like, oh, this person is a different caste to me or whatever. Like, that doesn't register for me. So I pay respect to like the security guard. I like fist bump him, you know? Like, I'll say thank you and please and tip people, you know, a little bit extra for their hard work. If I vibe with their energy, like, I want to give that back, right? And I think a lot of people, they want to keep that all to themselves, right? They don't really have that giving nature, that giving energy. And I think that giving energy comes a lot later in our lives, like that contribution. What tends to happen is a lot of people are more focused on their passion, the beginning stages of their life, than their purpose. Passion is all about you. Purpose is about we. How we, monsieur. It's about all of us, right? It's about, purpose is about humanity, right? Purpose becomes overarching. It's like kind of like a theme of your life that keeps going, right? And evolving and changing through the times, which even overrides like your relationship and your health and your wealth, everything, right? It's just overriding that. It's the vision and the purpose and the spiritual connection to the source, right? That is what is the defining principle or thesis argument, whatever you want to call it, right? What do you call that? Organizing principle, right? The next thing, man, I would say is figure out your character, figure out your identity. Who are you really as a man? You know, who are you really, and who do you prefer to be? Who do you want to be? Why are you not being that instead? Why are you being the version of you right now? Where's your 1,000 different excuses? I told this to a student of mine the other day. It's like every time you think of an excuse, make a choice. Okay, every time you feel that urgency, I have to make this excuse, you make a choice and let that choice override the excuse. I mean, figure out your own shit, you know, take personal responsibility. I think that's definitely important. A lot of people, they don't take responsibility, man. They're just like, oh, whatever, give me whatever job, I'll just kind of get by, you know? And hey, you know, mediocrity, you know, be mediocre. Makes it better for the rest of us, right? That actually want to be savage shamans and change our lives, like become the medicine men, become the healers that transform our communities and tribes. Think about the new earth and the new job prospects that are out there. Healers, divine masculinity, blueprint holders, right? People who are actually doing this thing and understand the inner work and know how to truly optimize themselves, right? Through the process of all of this. So if you need help with that, we do help with that, okay guys? We help with that. We can clear up any of the emotional or energetic gunk that's kind of getting in the way of you truly being that archetype. Like, let's say you want to really embody the qualities of a warrior and you are an MMA fighter or whatever, right? There's aspects of your warrior character that might be blocked, ancestrally blocked in terms of your bloodline, like you can't tap into that energy. There might be certain blockages in terms of like how you're expressing yourself on the mats. There could be so many other things. I'm just giving one example of that, obviously, but we want the beast to heal in the man, right? We want that aspect of that completely outrageously wild animal inside the man to be able to calm and relax its nervous system, just like a lion feels calm in its own environment. It relaxes, it rests, right? Allows that self-care to happen, and then at the right moment they strike, right? The same with the Makara energy. That's what I understood, at least. Makara back there, and also, you know, me. Okay, I have that Makara energy where I'm like, man, every time it's time to take action, right, it's ready to go. Okay, let's go with it. Let's lean into it. Let's not hesitate and like overthink this video, you know? Let's not try to, you know, pre-plan and like create some kind of outrageous roadmap for myself. Before I begin, let me tap into my greatest possibility, my greatest blueprint that is available to me. So this is what I say to the youth out there, okay? What I would say is definitely understand how you can do self-motivated research, okay? Self-motivated research into yourself, into the occult, into spirituality, into science, into things that interest you, you know, truly interest you. I've always been a type of deep thinker who goes beneath the surface, and likes to look, underneath the rubble. That's also Scorpio side of me, right? I'm intense, bro. I'm intense. I know a lot of people like my, energy is like a fire that purifies you. It doesn't burn you, it purifies you, So sometimes you just gotta accept that tough love that you're getting through the screen, right? And be like, yeah, that's Zoom, man. That he's speaking facts, right? At a certain level, when you go to all these videos, they're like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's like this fake smile, fake voice. You can tell, man. I can smell bullshit from a mile away, bro. You're trying to do shit to kind of do it for the viewers, or do it for the clout, or do it for the Vine, or do it for the Snapchat, or do it for the Instagram. I'm doing it for my deities, my mission, my lifestyle, right? For God or Source to live through me, creating that bridge from me and the divine. Okay, and getting a lot closer to that understanding of me and the divine. Okay, that's what truly the biggest epiphanies and shifts in my life is, when I have been able to achieve that gnosis, or that awakening, that understanding, those deep downloads and codes from the universe, where I've been like, oh yeah, that now it makes sense. Okay, the stuff that didn't make sense before actually now has a new missing puzzle piece, which evolves it into a different direction. And we always find this out, right? Later on, with all the energies and entities that we work with, we get, later on, we're like, whoa, like suddenly this new being is introduced, and he just explained all of the confusion we had the past few months. And making sense of that. So you, as a human being, if you ever read Viktor Frankl's book, bro, he was in a concentration camp, right? He was a psychiatrist or psychologist, I believe. And he basically was in that environment where he had to force his positivity, and he had to use his mindset, his attitude, to get himself out of that situation. It was his attitude, it was his mindset. And a lot of men are missing this kind of mindset, right? Like, let's go, come on, bro. You got this. Like, there's nobody around you, giving you that encouragement that you can do it, that you can believe in yourself. Richard Bandler, the creator of NLP, co-creators, he said, he used to give like fake steroid pills to these athletes, and they would crush it even better than before, right? Because it's all in a state of belief, guys, right? Even taking a sugar pill and thinking that you're improving yourself is going to improve you. And that's why having faith and belief in yourself is so key and so important. And even when this, you could say, oh, this magical stuff you're doing is all placebo. So what? So what? That's my answer back to you. It works. It's working for me. It's getting me the results where you're still slowing down. So, hey, you compare it to what you're doing, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm the master of all things. No, I am a specialist. I'm a specialist. I'm going to specialize in the flow state, and then from there, find the bridge, the ethereal, metaphysical link that is there, that is going on, right? Looking at all sides of the coin, really living that flow state lifestyle, okay? And not having it be this temporary high, this temporary state, like, ooh, I got a quick buzz by drinking a tea this morning, or something like that, right? And then it fades away. But then you have people trying to tap in like 12 cups of tea a day, trying to, they have some kind of a thing, right, that keeps it. It's an addiction, right? Their flow state becomes the addiction. They become obsessed with it rather than passionate with it. And that's one of the main differences in the Disney movie Soul, remember, guys, okay? When you become too obsessed with it, and it starts to become you, right? The painter becomes the painting so much that he can't even facilitate his real life anymore, right? It just become all engrossing, right? And having that obsessive mindset is actually helpful at certain times, like to just weave through, right? Like, I have a burning desire every single day when I wake up in the morning, like, and I have these ideas going off in my head, right? And so I've just got to jot them down, or make a video, or do these things, right? Because otherwise my creativity keeps on bubbling on to the next thing, and I don't want to lose the thought, the download, the insight that I'm getting, okay? Last night we had an incredible podcast. It was all on hopping timelines. So if you want to check that out, go to IMC TV, that's the YouTube channel, and check out Savage Shaman seminars with myself and Ryan G. We spoke a lot about hopping timelines, okay? Let's get it. Upward spiral. May we never be the same again. Us. Take care of yourself. We're all gonna make it. I'll see you on the other side. Boom.